Okay, so welcome back to the second part of our discussion. So for this section, we're going to talk about the family, the childhood, and the early education of our own national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal. So let's start. Alright. Yan. So, Jose Rizal was born to a wealthy family in Calamba, Laguna. He was the seventh among the 11 children of Francisco Mercado Rizal and Teodora Alonso Realonda. So, Pasiano, the second to the eldest child in the family, was the only brother of Jose, while his other siblings were Saturnina, Narcisa, Olympia, Lucia, Maria, Concepcion, Josefa, Trinidad, and Soledad. So, as what I have said in the first video, Jose had a Chinese ancestors from his father's side, Domingo Lamco, who married a Chinese mestiza, Ines de la Rosa. So aside from his Chinese ancestry, he also had a Japanese, Spanish, and a Malay blood. Okay, so there are countless written works about Dr. Jose Rizal's life. So you have to really, or you are required to study his life and works from the basic to tertiary education, and you are expected to be familiar with the different aspects of Rizal's life from his childhood to his heroism. Now, let's talk about his childhood. Okay, well, Jose's parents made sure that he and his siblings were well taken care of at an early age. So Jose was already seen as a welcome companion by many adults because he was very respectful and polite. So his family made sure that he was taught the right values in order for him to grow up and as a well-mannered individual. So at home, Rizal spent many of his childhood days in their family garden. And his parents also made sure to teach him or to teach over him at time or look over him at all time because he was frail and sickly. And also his father built a nipahat where he could play during the day. So in his childhood, Jose was very curious about the stories that his mother told him, which was also made him interested in legends and folklore. So since Rizal was very religious, Teodora made sure to teach Jose all important prayers, especially Angelus. So along with his siblings and parents, he recited the Angelus daily. Okay, so through his family, he was exposed to Catholic teachings and values. Okay, now the education of Dr. Jose Rizal. So alam naman natin, his first teacher was his mother. And by 3 years old, Jose was already able to recite the alphabet because of his mother's guidance. Okay, so in his journals, he wrote, "My mother taught me how to read and say haltingly the humble prayers which I raised fervently to God." So aside from his mother, Jose also had a private tutor, Leon Monroy, who taught him the rudiments of Latin. And aside from Monroy, Jose was also taught by his uncle Manuel Alberto and uncle Gregorio. The former was concerned with the physical development of Jose and instilled in him the love for nature, while the latter taught him the value of education. Yan. So Jose had his early education in Calamba and Bifian. So his education was focused on reading, writing, arithmetic, and religion. So instruction was imposed very rigidly and strictly. Teachers made use of whips to force knowledge into the minds of the students. However, despite of the basic education, Rizal was able to acquire the necessary skills to prepare for him for higher education in Manila. So yun nga. Jose's first teacher in Bifian was Maestro Justiniano Aquino Cruz, who described as a tall, thin, long-necked, sharp-nosed, and with a body slightly bent forward. So in Bifian, Jose regularly attended mass. Okay, so went to orchard, went to class at 10 a.m. and ate lunch, arrived home at 5 p.m. and consistently studied and drew. Okay, so he also prayed daily before going to bed. Alright, so in terms of academics, Jose was the most outstanding among all his classmates. He surpassed them all in Spanish, Latin, and other subjects. So this made his older classmates jealous of him. So they told lies about Jose to teachers just to discredit him, although he was not quarrelsome. But Jose never backed out from a fight. Okay, now let's have Rizal's influences. Okay, so as we all know, Jose Rizal grew up surrounded by influences that have contributed to the development of his nationalist sensibilities. So from his father, Francisco, Rizal learned the value of self-respect, love for work, and independent thinking. His greatest influence was his mother, Teodora. It was her that Jose got his religiosity, a high sense of self-sacrifice, and love for the arts. And his love for freedom and justice was inculcated in him by Pasiano, while his sisters taught him to be respectful and kind to women. So part of his extended family that played a great role in his character development, part of his extended family that played a great role in his character development were his uncles, who also taught him valuable lessons in life. So he got his love for books. Okay, so and his being hardworking from his uncle Gregorio, while his uncle Jose encouraged him to develop his skills in painting, sketching, and sculpting. Yan. So an equally important influence on the character of Rizal was the environment he grew up in. So as mentioned, he spent his childhood in Calamba in a family that nurtured his mind and soul. So the Rizal family had a beautiful garden which helped Rizal appreciate the nature, and these things stimulated the young hero's innate artistic and literary elements. So that's the end of discussion for this section. For the third part, or for the last section, the history of the Friar lands. Let's find it out for the next video.